Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Tennis Manager 23. This is episode 39. It's time for the World Cup, beginning with a surprise, not just what we are doing management-wise, but for the U.S. team. The number one ranked U.S. team. Clarice has qualified. She's made it. She's the last one selected. I'm not sure she's going to be playing a whole lot of matches, but she did get selected. So Corey Goff is set to lead the team. 11-4 all-time, couple of titles, still just 23 years of age. But Madison Keys at 32, Anisimova, Kruger, and Thurman round out the roster. Now, 4 of the top 21 players from one team gives them a real shot. Clarice coming in 32nd, a little bit weaker, but in form, coming off a finals appearance at the Next Gen Finals, is a definite maybe. Right, she's got some good momentum, good form at this point, and if she gets to play just 1 or 2 matches, it could go well, and that would be a great icebreaker for her at the World Cup level. The U.S.'s first round opponent is Italy. They look quite an easy one in comparison. In fact, their best player is significantly weaker than Clarice, meaning Clarice, if she gets selected for any of the matches here in this first round, she would be a heavy favorite, no matter who it was against. But of course, our focus, other than, paying attention to how Clarice is doing, how the U.S. is doing, our focus is entirely on the group that I am managing personally, and that, of course, is the U.S. Juniors. Czech Republic, number 2, our number 1 seed, is not present in the finals here, so that's good. But we do have the rest of the top 6. And we do have the joint collective hardest draw. US at number 5, Germany at number 4, Romania at number 6 somehow gets to play host, to be the favorite in the easiest matchup. How that didn't end up being us, how these aren't properly weighted by your ranking, I don't know, but whatever. Here we are. It looks like really the only 2 that ended up properly being seeded are the top 2 seeds, top and bottom of the rankings. Everything else looks pretty random. But let's briefly take a look at all 8. Let's start with the other 6. So Czech Republic and France. Czech Republic, 2 top 10 players, 4 top 50 players. They certainly look challenging. Rekarkova. Dun, 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 dun. We'll keep an eye on her as well. For France, not a single player in the top 50, though all in the top 75. Looks like Czech Republic should have a very easy time dispatching France. Skipping down to the bottom half of the bracket for now, with China, 1 player in the top 75, just in at 19th, means they are going to be a very easy match for anyone. In this case, Romania. And Romania, with a 5-12-18, it's only 3 top players, but they should easily be able to knock off China on their way to a semifinal berth. The other quarterfinal is Serbia and Russia. In Serbia, you have 2 top 20 players, and then that huge drop-off that we are seeing with some of these others. And then in Russia, 1 player ranked 11th, and then another drop-off. No one else inside the top 35. Now, looking at our team, before we look at Germany, we have 2 top 10s. We have all 5 our top 50 players at the junior level. We, of course, have a couple of players here in this mix, or really 3. Stearns, Redulik, and Jessup are all playing at senior level these years. 4 18-year-olds, 1 17-year-old. Redulik and Jessup did not play in the group stage, but the others fared well. Our opponent, Germany, not as highly ranked. Their top player is 14th in Bartel, and only 1-2. How did they even qualify? Looking at their records, 1-2, 1-2, 2-1, 2-1, and a previously unselected player. 2 very low-ranked players. 33rd is kind of their mix. That's right. Their top 3 match our bottom 3. Their bottom 2 versus our top 2, significantly different. But one thing we've got to take into consideration here is not only trying to knock off Germany to get to the semifinals, but being fit for the semifinals. And a tough Czech Republic, a tough Rekirkova, who we stand to potentially face in the semifinals, where if you can beat said Rekirkova, who is the top seed and clearly the favorite in this tournament. The number one's not here. We're not seeing the other top five. It's really Rekirkova, and then Waddles and Bustos might be somewhere else near the top. I think there was one fifth place player with, what was it, Russia? No, their top is 11th, 15th. There, Romania, number 5. Romania looks pretty tough. They are like us at their top end choices, and then a bit of a drop off to their other two. But again, some of these are higher senior level players, right? Germany at 14 is their best. France, not even top 50. So there is another player. So other than 2 and 5, we bring in the next 2 highest ranked players, at least at the junior level, a chance to proceed. Beating Germany won't be easy, but it looks possible. Beating the Czech Republic would be really tough, and you're probably facing either a Romania or Russia in the final if you get that far, and they both look similar, a bit similar to what we have. Waddles and Bustos are now both labeled as 2-star talents. That's good. Form is relatively high for everyone other than Jessup. They're all fit. The morale's high. That's good. We are well prepared. Team chemistry is already excellent, so we only need to put 1 point into that. 2 players that with the most affinity are Waddles and Jessup. So would we want a Waddles and Jessup doubles partnership? We don't need a lot for physical recovery, as we're already pretty well off in that department as well. So I think with our last 2 points, let's focus on getting the most out of our training matches. We're going to go for it. Despite not quite nailing down everything, we end up 1 round short of our Grand Slam goal and 2 spots in the ranking short of our overall ranking goal. Thurman is quite satisfied overall with what she got this season and has already said as much. Following our 3 days of training, our team chemistry remains at excellent, even though we only just committed a little bit. Fitness has improved for Jessup, so everybody's at that 100% now. Double pairings have improved by a star across the board, hopefully. So we have found some success there, though we didn't get any sort of result on singles, but I don't know how that one necessarily works. Germany does not look like an easy matchup for us. We're going to go ahead and take Waddles and Bustos into the singles. Take our 2 best players. Hope that, at minimum they win 1, but hopefully win both to push us forward. Now, we are at a phase in this one where it's not group stage, right? So you don't need to play the doubles unless it's being used as a tiebreaker. So I've got Waddles and Bustos for the singles matches. They've taken Weinstock and Bartel, so they're second and then first. So Bustos and Bartel looks to be the closer one. We seem to have a bit of a stronger go in Waddles and Weinstock, so let's hope that we take care of that one comfortably. Their doubles is Kerber at 33rd with Putz at 107. Lowles, who was previously unselected, remains unselected for this round. I could definitely avoid Waddles and Bustos, though, based on the selection they've made here. My next 2, depending on what the affinity choices would be, are definitely stronger than what they're bringing. I mean, the 33rd one we might be a closer match with. Presumably this might take a little while to get through, so as we go forward, we'll move fast. Waddles takes the first game, has a chance to break, but does not take Weinstock on the second game, but we will hold serve. Chance to break again here in the 4th game, but not finishing the job here.
Advantage.
Back onto advantage.
Fault. Second service.
Fitness advantage here early on, and also it looks like a mental advantage, but not able to finish. So second game in a row, we've been in a position to break, but have yet to do so. Back to advantage.
Second set.
Third chance just on this game. Double fault, and there it is. 3-1.
15 love.
40 love, and we go up 4-1. Up love 40, and we break her again. 5-1. First set looking comfortable for now. That's out, and we've claimed the first set.
Second set.
Waddles Weinstock is a more favorable matchup for us anyway, so this one always looked likely to be the winner. It's the second matchup that we're a little more worried about, but we are not dominating here in this second set for now. We are struggling to hold serve. Oh, but we break her there and now get on the front foot, and then suddenly immediately after that it turns into a comfortable serve game, and then we break her again, and then here we are at 40-30 with match point and have it. There you go, 6-1, 6-2. That's 1-0. Outside of our matchup, where technically we are the underdog, one would say, we are ranked below Germany, but in all of the others, the favorite has won the first match. Earlier this season in College Park, Maryland, the U.S. Bustos won a head-to-head, a 3-set victory over Micah Bartel. So I guess, no, that wouldn't be Bartel. If it's German, it's Bertel. So Micah Bertel, and we are, let's see, I need to see Bustos' playing style. Is she going to be similar? She's got a good return. Very similar profile, both players here. Good footwork and balance, but not much speed. Yeah, amazing how similar they are to one another. All right, but this is definitely the tougher one. This is Germany's highest ranked player versus our second highest ranked player.
Tie. First set. Second.
So this would be the one to keep an eye out for that could go against us. But we break her there, and then she immediately breaks us right back. And we break her yet again at 5-4, and 40 love. We have a set point, and there you go. First set is ours. Not necessarily against run of play. That was pretty even, other than the fact that both had managed to break each other. So serve is not necessarily a big advantage here in this one, as we saw, what was it, 3 games broke? And we break her immediately on the first game of the second set, and then she breaks us right back. So as we've seen here, service doesn't mean much. It's a pretty close match, but you're seeing the return win almost as often as you are seeing the server win. We're up 4-2 though here in the second set, and at love 40, another break point for us. Well served right into the corner, but we play it, keep control.
15-40.
Thought this one was out,
Second service.
but instead we're the one who gets called for out. That's fine. There you go.
5 games.
Ball into the net, and it's 5-2, and we start very well on the decisive potential match-winning game.
Love.
The World Cup here, I've noticed that it doesn't consistently always show a ball mark. Sometimes it misses, and there it is. We've done it. 6-4, 6-2. Now, do we play the doubles anyway? No, we do not play the doubles if the match is already decided. Let's go ahead and check in on Clarice. Has she had an appearance? How is our fitness? Waddles looks good. Bustos ever so slightly tired, but we're fine heading in. No selection in the first round. Keys and Goff win comfortably for the U.S., so Clarice Thurman has yet to make her debut for the United States. But they are into the semifinal to face Russia, who beat Belarus. Sabalenka beat Potapova, but otherwise Russia knocks them out, and Sabalenka gets a second appearance here in the doubles and can't take either. Ukraine knocks off Switzerland in 3. Czech Republic beats Belgium. So all of the favorites, all of the higher seeds, go through, and you're looking at a 1-3 and a 2-6 matchup in the semifinals. For Russia, you're looking at 18, 19, 23, 38, and 40 for the ranks of the 5 players selected here. U.S. definitely would be the favorite, but not by a wide margin. Czech Republic, 4 top 10 players, all 5 of them in the top 13. Czech Republic looking very strong for Vritova at 4th, the highest ranked. Ukraine, meanwhile, doesn't field a single top 10 player. 17th is their highest, 35th, 62nd. You figure, even though Ukraine is ranked 6th, Czech Republic's heavy favorites. The U.S.-Russia matchup significantly tougher. Considering that the Czech Republic is the biggest obstacle, this is where we need to go full out. So Waddles and Bustos again to take the singles matches. 90% is fine for Bustos, though a little bit tired. Rekerkova's the challenge, and it is our Veronika Rekerkova that we're going to be playing against here shortly. Rekerkova's not going to be too tired. Not going to be too tired at all at this point, as she won 6-0, 6-1 in her first singles match. The other one was a bit tougher, 3-set winner, but we'll see what that sets up for us here. Waddles gets Rekerkova. Bustos is going to get Slamenikova, who is 10th in the junior rankings. Tough matchup, pretty evenly balanced across the board here. Polchertova, 35th, and Petrozalova, 48th in the rankings. Could give us just about an edge if it does come down to doubles. Rekerkova has beat Waddles all 3 times that they have faced each other, always in the finals, including the Australian Open Junior. Rekerkova's one junior title was head-to-head beating Waddles. All 3 matchups were last season as well. Both players very high on their fitness level, both enthusiastic, neither seemingly facing any pressure here. Rekerkova could be playing a very different style than what she plays for us based on what's managed. But we equalize at 1 game all, and then she very quickly takes the next game. And we so far are struggling, though we do ultimately equalize at 2 games all. But for now, Rekerkova looks really comfortable when she serves. She's taking wins quite easily. I mean, we're not even scoring points. And then we are just squeaking out victories where she nearly breaks us every time. So trailing to send it to a tiebreaker. No, she has a chance to break us at set point. It's weird because part of you wants to root for our own in Rekerkova. So we head to the tiebreaker. So part of me wants Rekerkova to win, and then the U.S. to ultimately win the other 2 matches to get through. So I'm happy with a close one, because the other part of me obviously just wants Waddles to win, right? We don't want to put it at risk. We're trying to win the juniors. Today, I am managing Waddles on a daily basis. I don't manage Rekerkova anyway. I've managed her, once so far? Very torn. Very torn. Like I said, I'm both rooting for Rekerkova and against her. I'm not sure where to go, what to do, what to think, what to celebrate. Double fault. That just about gives it away right there. It was 4-5. Double fault makes it 4-6 and probably puts us on the brink, but 5-6. Because I'm very much, like I said, I'm really torn on this one. Both players, a little bit stressed, a little bit anxious. Close matchup. Not good for either one, right? They progress. Rekerkova is going to be tired. Waddles progresses. Waddles is going to be tired. this big battle is wearing each other out. 4 games all. Right now, the best outcome that I can think of, like I said, I'm so torn on this one. Best outcome I can think of is Waddles winning this set and moving on, or setting the U.S. to continue moving on. Why? Because
30, 40.
going to 3 sets this close, especially if we go to tiebreakers again. Oh man, Waddles, come on, you need this. It's break point. Out, deuce. 2 close sets is already gonna be tiring. 3 close sets, it's gonna ruin both players heading into the finals. You don't want both players ruined heading into the finals, because if we're rooting for Rekirkova and the Czech Republic, and she's exhausted heading into the finals, how good is she going to be? How effective is she going to be? And she's definitely their best player. She's their standout. Waddles, not my only one, but if Waddles is exhausted heading into the finals, then what? Then what, right? So, oh, there it is. Okay. Wrapping it up in 2 sets saves, what, half an hour, 40 minutes, potentially, of match time. This now puts it firmly in the let's go win this second single, let's move on, let's get to the finals with only the 2 players a bit tired and the other 3 fresh and ready to jump in, depending on who we're going against. But if we need to call on Waddles again, she won't be as tired. She was at 96% entering the match. She's going to be a bit tired after that, but thanks to just playing 2 sets, she's got a decent chance of not being overly tired and still being available for the final. Romania has beaten Russia in the first singles match. Romania reminds me a lot of us. 5, 12, 18, 55, 69 are the ranks. 3 higher end players, 2 competent players. We have slightly the advantage overall. Safina Papa, though, looks pretty good. But took her 3 sets to get out of that one. And that's what I'm talking about, the fatigue factor. We might play her, but she might be a bit more tired, and that could give us the difference. Waddles is going to be a bit less tired. Slimanakova and Bustos have gone head-to-head twice. Bustos winning both times, including a final in Canada earlier this year, and then Australia in a semifinal. 5 sets total. She's won 4 of those 5 sets. Let's hope she can keep up that trend here. Getting broke in the first game, though, is not a great start, already trailing by 2. Both players enthusiastic. Both players are not suffering from fatigue, and we are getting swept in this first set, losing all of the 4 first games. But we're starting to bounce back. We finally break her. It's 3-4, just like that. So after going down 4-0, we have battled back. But she does claim one there, and we're facing a set point situation here, and double fault our way to giving the set away. Again, wow, Bustos in a position to win the set and then falls apart, and she's gonna lose this match. It's match point. There is that outcome now. 78% for Waddles, 89 for Bustos. She barely even played in that one. Oh, there we go. Stearns and Jessup, 5-star affinity. Those are going to be the 2 to play. It's also 1-1 in the other matchup as Russia has come back against Romania. Each going the distance, each going to doubles. Interesting semifinals we've got going here, folks. 5-star versus 4-star affinity. Kind of a similar ranking for each of the pairings. We're slightly favorites in this one. I just noticed the juniors we are playing in St. Petersburg, Russia. Not that that would actually give a real advantage there. Might. They always talk about it in the media. I don't think it actually makes any difference. Real life it does. In good ways and bad ways. As we suffer an ace on the very first point. Not sure how she reached a couple of those. We've seen a lot of aces already. Both sides. Alright, fatigue factor. Both of their players are indecisive. One of them comes in a bit tired. It's not showing those balls.
30 all.
Ours looked like it might have been just about on the line, but it was called out.
30-40.
30-40. Chance to break.
Game. 2 games all.
2 games all. Tight contest so far. We break them to go up 3 games 2, and then hold serve to make it 4-2 in the driver's seat for this first set following that. But we have got to not get broke, which they did. So they break us to get back equal. Ow. Did not move a muscle. That serve was not... It had power, but it wasn't even very close to the line. It was pretty much... I mean, it was left-hand side, but it was pretty much down the middle. Such an easy ball to play, and looked like we were not even set. And we end up losing after being in the driver's seat how many times? I mean, we had the 4-2 advantage. Looked like we were set to get off to the races. But then they battled back. And then there we are, tiebreakers in the driver's seat, looking to put it away, and failed to do so there as well. We've had a chance to break them so many times here in these last couple of games and failed to do so. We had break point about 6 times in that game and failed to break them. But here we are at 40-15. Chance to make it 6 games 5. There it is. Okay, we got it. 7-5. We're back to level. And this set will decide who makes the final here at the World Cup. Looking at the fatigue part. Demotivated, indecisive, where we are self-assured and anxious. Spot on the line. We'll have to check in on what's going on with Clarice after this and how the U.S. did, the senior U.S. team. Mistakes aplenty from both sides. It's looking like the every other server. One of them is a little weak on serving, which is giving us the chance. Double fault there. 15-30. We've seen double faults from her. A little bit weaker player, struggling a bit more. Playing it back to her. She's the one we're having an easier time with, and we break her. It's 5 games 3. Driver's seat, folks. Driver's seat. We are in it. Both teams are getting a bit tired, around that 50%, but they're just slightly lower than us. So accuracy is starting to fall off, and you're really seeing a lot of mistakes here. 40-15. It's match point. Double fault, though. 40-30. On the line. There you go. Nope. Really. Oof. There it is. Game, set, match. We've made the final, folks. We have made the final with a somewhat inferior U.S. team. Definitely not the usual team that's the favorite. U.S.-Russia went to the wire, but U.S. does move on. Corey Goff wins via forfeit along the way, where Kasakina beat Keys 6-3, 6-4 in the first matchup. The doubles, Anisimova and Kruger, are the ones selected, so Clarice has yet to make an appearance. Has at least been selected. I mean, it's a step. She's going to potentially win a championship here, but it's against the Czech Republic, who beat Ukraine comfortably. Of course, we already saw that Ukraine was far the weaker side. For the Czech Republic, we're looking at a 4-6, 9-10, 13. Really, really strong top 5 and favorites. They outrank every single matchup. And even though the U.S. is ranked number 1 and Czech Republic number 2, the actual quality of the individual players is easily making the Czech Republic the favorites for the final at the women's level. After Safina Papa got the upset in the first singles match Efremova bounces back for Russia to equalize, and then they win the doubles in 3 sets to see the final. Russia are 11th, 36th, 39th, 56th, and 111th in the rankings, making us favorites at this point. Certainly an easier match than what we saw with the Czech Republic that we squeezed out. But now, what we're facing here that's going to make it a little bit tougher is the fatigue factor. What will the fatigue factor do to our players and the matchups that they're about to face? Waddles gets Pushkareva, their top player. The only one who's going to be a real threat. Waddles beat Pushkareva 6-4, 6-4 in the quarterfinals earlier this year of a junior tournament. This is the big one. This is the opponent that could beat us. Very, very similar rank between them. Both are thrilled. We do have a fitness advantage entering this one. Waddles, our most fatigued player, too, entering this finals round, and she's only slightly tired there. And therefore, I think that sets us up. We're going to be in good shape. Now it's just a matter of coming away victorious. Only 15-30 right now. I haven't watched each of the points carefully, but I'm a little surprised to see that we're down from what I was watching. And we lose the first game. We're broke right off the bat. Not the start you want. She does get one there, but we seem to be taking control of the match compared to before. But trailing 3-5, it might be a little too late for this first set. We broke her once, we took control, but we were already too far down. Much more balanced match here than before, and making us slight favorites. 30-40, break point. We're stressed. She's thrilled, but she's already fallen to that 50%. Could be a good opportunity for us. We've got to hang in there a little bit longer in this set. A break would be wonderful, as we got broke right off the bat in that first game, and we don't, so it's 4-2. She keeps that front foot. Oh, don't get broke. Oh my gosh. She's going to lose. Waddles is going to lose. Pushkareva, match point. We are going to have to rely on the advanced matchups of the other two. Pushkareva, their best, has knocked off our best. But it's in the others that we have the advantage, and it's now in the others that we're going to have to rely on getting the win. It's Efremova, who we've played plenty of times for our academy, but Bustos has never played her head-to-head. Both are thrilled. Both have plenty of energy. Bustos, definitely the favorite in terms of the rankings over Efremova, but only slightly. It's the drop-off begins a bit more steeply after the first two, so if it does go to doubles, that's where we can say, hey, we've got a clear advantage. But here we are, losing handily. Early on, looking at our selection of players, looking at how our ranking had dropped, I was fearful, as Bustos is right now. No point changing anything now. It's match point, folks. I was fearful that we were going to be really bad, that we weren't even going to make it out of the group stage. So, to get all the way to the final, that's good. To lose it to a team that we're probably slightly better than, but lose it comfortably, that's disappointing. I mean, 1-6, 0-6, nil, love, nothing, nada, zilch, zippo to 6. Yeah, doesn't get much worse than that. So Russia has won the World Cup. End of season goals, Thurman, Rekirkova completing all of those. Let's see what happened in the finals for the women. Goff and Keys got the job done for the U.S., and they have won the World Cup at the elite level. Thurman never did get an appearance. There was only a single doubles match. Anasimova and Kruger were the ones selected for it. No Thurman on that occasion. But at least she got to be there, got to be a part of it, got to trade with the team. Maybe make some progress as an athlete, not sure. But at least they have claimed that title. Meanwhile, Shelton and Fritz have led the U.S. to a victory in the men's side as well. So the men's and women's elite title goes to the United States. Led by Poney and Blankenau, France has claimed the men's juniors title, beating Italy. Italy knocking off the U.S. in the quarterfinal in a 1-3 matchup. What I previously said about the top two seeds being the only ones that appear to be set was completely false, as here you have a 1-3 matchup, a 4-5 matchup, a 2-13, and an 8-21. The UK getting the most favorable of draws. Saw them to the semifinal, but they get knocked out there. Well, folks, surprising news for you. That's going to do it not only for this episode, but for this series. There is more to do. There's absolutely more to do, and the audience is definitely not the smallest audience that I have out there, but it's one of the smaller audiences, and part of the reasoning behind it. But what there is for the game is just more of the same of what we have now. And there's a couple things with this game that need some work, but it's far better balanced. I'm much happier with Tennis Manager 23 than I was with 22. 22 was a bit of a nightmare, but 23, the biggest thing is the injuries that really, really need some work. It becomes now entirely about Clarice and or us managing the World Cup, which was a fun addition this year. Really enjoyed that. It was really cool going for the World Cup here. Nearly getting it as a number 5 seed. Almost got there with the juniors, though, the seniors managed to pull it off. Clarice got to be a part of it, sort of. I got to be a part of it, certainly. Happy with how things have gone on that foray. But the main reason to move on is not that this series is not doing well, it's to make way. Prior to this morning, I had 4 new game releases coming out just over a week from now. 4 things we're going to have to change to part ways and prepare for that. I haven't had anything new for a couple of months, and for anyone who's familiar with the YouTube algorithm and how it works, it's the new games that draw the attention, that draw the interest. And yes, you have to maintain series to keep your audience around, and I would like to maintain this one a little bit longer, one more season anyway, but there just isn't the balance to make that happen. And long story short, we would just continually see more of the same. More injuries, and more of Clarice slowly moving up as she develops rather slowly now these days. Her fast phase is done. She could eventually climb into the top 25. She could eventually climb into the top 20. By her late 20s, I think she can contend for slams. But not anytime soon. She's past her rapid development phase, and it didn't happen. Why didn't it happen? Well, because we took literally the hardest start we could possibly take. We didn't have the finances, we didn't have the infrastructure, and we built from the ground up. And as a result, Thurman developed a little more slowly because the facilities weren't there, because the development boosts weren't there, because the staff wasn't there. And because she started a little slow on her development, by time her rapid development phase ended, she was only so high. She's good. She's very good. And she'll just continually get a little bit better season by season. But her rank came out almost identical this year as it was last year. And her progress, well, it's one little piece at a time, one little chunk at a time, and it's not happening rapidly. I think Clarice is somebody who's going to have a good, successful career, and she will be a Grand Slam winner. She could be a Maria Sharapova who wins 5 Grand Slams in her career type thing, but not somebody who's going to go out and dominate the game and be a legend of the game. That being said, that's a long, slow process to carry it through that next level. I think absolutely, especially now that I've broken the mold, I can continue to manage the U.S. at any level, whether it be the juniors, whether it be the seniors, whether it be the men's, whether it be the women's, and we'll win titles. That was the lowest ranking we've seen the U.S. have in any year in this series, of any level in this series. And we still carried them to the final, further than the junior men's who got knocked out in the quarterfinals as a 1 seed. We didn't win it, but we came close. I would think next year, I don't see why we couldn't win it, or why we couldn't take the seniors and take Clarice and have her be that 5th one again and get her some doubles experience and so on and so forth, and help her along the way. Regardless, at this point, we're in a slow development phase that would just take a number of years to really take the next step in this series anyway, which means it's as good a stopping point as any. We could carry on like this for years to come, for many, many, many episodes of just that long, slow. We had a problem with bad form. We figured it out, we resolved it, and we had a much better year. So we are ending on a bit of a high note. I'm happy with that. Thank you for tuning in. Sorry about the abrupt end of this one, but look for multiple new series coming to the channel. By the way, I mentioned it was 4. It's down to 3 as one of those games just today postponed its release, and so it's not going to be available just yet. But I still have 3 coming. I've got to make some space for that to happen. And I'm facing rather difficult, busy times IRL, and there's only so much time in the day. But thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sitting with me through this series, and there will 100% without a doubt be Tennis Manager 24 to come, as each new iteration of the game is fun, enjoyable, and I can't wait to see what's next. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.